me? Hi, I saw Kelly is here and a few others. Doing well, thanks. Getting spooled up for Christmas. I almost thought you said spooked up for Christmas. Hello, Steve. Okay, is this sound good? I just plugged that in. Just want to make sure you can hear me well. Hello. Hi, Steven. How are you? MAGA from Boston. Let's go, Brandon. Sound is good. Okay, thank you. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Lance. Uh, Merry Christmas, everybody. Is everyone excited? I got this new. I decided to wear my crazy. It's actually Elf. Hey, how are you? Although I still have my America's favorite elf. Merry Christmas, Sarah. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Yay. All right, today I thought we would talk about if there's anything else. I'll try to read the chats as much as possible. So let me know if there's anything else you want to talk about. I kind of just wanted to hang with you guys, if that's cool, and talk about this Elon Musk interview and go through some of the things that he said in this interview. I thought he said some pretty interesting things. And then, so Candace Owens just interviewed Donald Trump on the Daily Wire, and that was making all kinds of headlines for different reasons. So I thought I would sort of give you my opinion on that and go through what they talked about on that in that interview. Donald Trump's a hero, or Elon Musk is a hero, or Elf is a hero? Which one? I actually, you know what? I'm really sad, but I actually heard that Will Ferrell might not be the nicest person, which makes me very sad. Okay. Elon Musk. I think we have a good amount of people here. Both. Okay, cool. All are heroes. So I watched this earlier today. I had seen some quotes, but Elon Musk, he is the founder and CEO of SpaceX and Tesla. He's a very rich man. Merry Christmas, Sarah. Thank you, drunken thrifter, aka Charlie Brown. So he's the owner or founder, CEO of. He's funny. I know he is funny. Oh, Elon Musk is funny. That's who you're talking about. Yeah, he's hilarious. So and I put Elon Musk. So he's the founder and CEO of Tesla, SpaceX. He gets into it with politicians a lot. And what's really interesting about him is a lot of politicians, a lot of the elite class, they don't like him. I put him in the same category as a Joe Rogan or a Donald Trump. I think they're all sort of in that same type of category. And I think it's because they're wild cards. They don't really go along with the approved narrative of everyone else. When we were right in the middle of the pandemic, Elon Musk took Tesla out of California. So he was one of the ones that did that exodus from California. And he got into it with a politician in California. But he cited the regulations are just too much to be in California. And a politician told him to F off. And I was like, why would you want Tesla and Elon Musk to F off from California? Especially given the fact that California, the governor, Gavin Newsom, wants to go full electric car by 2035. And the largest electric car manufacturer in the entire world is Tesla. So why would you want Tesla to leave? That just goes to show that their policies are not always what's best for the people. Their policies are more about the people that they know, and has to do with just this interconnectedness with, because you would think that Gavin Newsom would want to be best friends with Elon Musk, but that just goes to show how awful California is to business owners, and it's just tons of regulations. So anyway, yes, Elon Musk left California and took Tesla with him, and he has been trading jabs with Warren. Yes, so Elon Musk got into a little Twitter war with Elizabeth Warren, and he addresses that in this interview. So I'll go over that with you. But basically, Elizabeth Warren tried to call him out for not paying taxes. So he jabbed back at her and called her Senator Karen. And he ended up talking about her in this interview. But his point was, what are you talking about? I don't pay taxes. He said, I'm paying $11 billion in taxes this year. So all of these celebrities and politicians, they try to act like Elon Musk doesn't pay taxes. And he's in fact going to be paying the most taxes of anyone in history this coming year. And I believe he addressed this in this interview. There was 1 year that he didn't pay taxes, and that was because he made zero income. So he has 20% stock in Tesla and SpaceX, which are his companies, but he doesn't take any income, so he doesn't get a salary. And that particular year, he didn't take out, or he didn't sell any of his stocks, and he also didn't take a salary. So there was like 1 year that he didn't pay taxes, but the year before that he paid. Anyway, he called out Senator Karen, Elizabeth Warren. Yes, Elon Musk, according to him, is paying $11 billion in taxes this coming year, and that is the most taxes that anyone has ever paid in the history of America. So, and he also made the point. Let's see if I can find it, since we're talking about. Okay, so we're talking about Senator. Is she Senator? Yeah. So we're talking about Senator Warren. Thank you. Someone said, love the onesie. Thank you very much. So it says right here, the Babylon Bee team unsurprisingly brought up Musk's recent Twitter feud with Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, who has boldly called the CEO a freeloader due to his alleged refusal to pay his fair share of taxes. Reiterating what he stated on Twitter, Musk noted that he would be paying the single largest tax bill in American history this year, quite unlike the Massachusetts senator. And this is what he said. He said, she struck first. Yes, she did actually call me a freeloader and a grifter who doesn't pay taxes. I'm literally paying the most tax that any individual in history has ever paid this year, ever. And she doesn't pay taxes, basically. And her taxes and salary is paid for by the taxpayers like me. If you could die by irony, she would be dead. So that's what he said, which he's right. The irony in that is pretty wild once you think about it in those terms. So I think O for Elizabeth Warren, 1 for Elon Musk in that. Elon Musk said this is one of the tweets that Elon Musk sent in response to Elizabeth Warren calling him a freeloader. He said, this is such a deeply messed up lie to the American people. She is the one freeloading off taxpayers while I'm paying the largest amount of tax that any individual has paid in history. Is Senator Warren really someone we want as a U.S. senator? That's the slow clap. For Elon Musk. Yes, and Elizabeth Warren is also the one that flies around in private jets and all of that jazz. Merry Christmas, Sarah and everyone. Thank you, Glenn Allen. And you know what's funny? I know I'm going off topic. I'm going to go right back to this interview with Elon Musk because he said something incredible. Elon Musk is not your friend. You know what? He doesn't have to be your friend, but you can agree with some of the things that he says. And that's what I've learned. I don't have to agree with everyone on everything, but if they make a really good point, I can point that out. I think that's okay. To this point about just hypocrites being in power, I recently infiltrated Martha's Vineyard. And speaking of private jets, we're diverting for a second, but I have a point, I swear, and then we'll go back to this interview because he said something really great about wokeness. I infiltrated Martha's Vineyard, and I was at the airport there, which is a really tiny airport. And one of the things we criticized on this channel was Obama's birthday party. So Obama has an estate on Martha's Vineyard, and he had this huge birthday party in the middle of our pandemic. And then while we were all supposed to be masking and stuff like that, he decided to have this massive birthday party with tons of celebrities. So I'm at this airport, and the person I was with was like, yeah, so apparently, during the Obama birthday, like this airport, this little tiny airport on this little tiny island, it was filled with private jets. They actually ran out of jet fuel. So these are the same people that preach to you about climate change. And I'm not saying climate change isn't real, but what I am saying is people will fearmonger the environment issue in order for you to get down with having your taxes raised for whatever their agenda is that actually does nothing to help the situation. But the interesting thing about that was a lot of the residents were really upset about this. They were like, wait a second, we live on this tiny little island and all of you are coming here with your private jets for a birthday party. If this was such a thing, if the climate was such an emergency, why are you all flying here with your private jets for a birthday party? So there's another little piece of just hypocrisy for you. And Elizabeth Warren is one of these people that flies around in a private jet. If you can just search it on the internet and you'll see video footage of her coming off her private jets. It's really funny. In one video, she actually tried to hide. But back to this Babylon Bee interview. He then went on to talk about comedy and wokeness in comedy. Elon Musk did. I'm just taking a sip of water. My throat is dry. So this is what Elon Musk said about wokeness. He said, wokeness wants to make comedy illegal. Do we want a humorless society that is simply rife with condemnation and hate? At its heart, wokeness is divisive, exclusionary, and hateful. It basically gives mean people a shield to be cruel, armored in false virtue. I could not agree with that more. Wokeness is an excuse for mean people to be mean under the guise of false virtue. Thank you. I have known this, but finally someone put it in yes, yes, and yes. Okay, we all agree. I have known this for so long, but seeing it like this, the way that he worded it, I think is totally perfect. Because many of these people, if you look at their personal lives, if you look at how they treat people in their personal lives, if you look at their regular interactions, you will find that these are typically pretty mean and hateful people in their personal lives. And now they have an excuse to go out there and be mean and bully others and say mean things to people because now they can do it under the guise of virtue. And it's like every single time. And I don't know if you guys follow Libs of TikTok. It's a Twitter page where they call out like super woke people that make TikToks. A lot of them are teachers. They all have the same angry look in their eyes. And they're all very, just very condescending. And there are a few like conservative or Republican commentators, I would think, of a few that do have a condescending tone, but more so on the left. Even leftist, look at CNN, look at Don Lemon, look at Chris Cuomo, although he doesn't work there anymore. Look at all of these people. Look at all the late night hosts. They all have condemnation in their faces when they're speaking. It's like they're talking down. They're not talking to you. They're talking down to you. And if you look at their personal affairs, thank you so much, Kelly. You're so sweet. Thank you very much, Kelly. I really appreciate that. Merry Christmas. They all have the same thing, and they're condemning you. They're talking down to you. And I find that really interesting. I love that he put it that way, because I think it's absolutely true. And now it's giving them an excuse to be mean on a widespread, to be mean to everything, to everyone. So it was a really good interview. He talked about Facebook is coming out with the metaverse. So now they're Meta, and the metaverse is basically virtual reality, and they want us to all go into this virtual reality. And he also made a really a really good point, which was so simple yet so profound. Again, putting it in words, putting it in a way that it makes perfect sense, but I never thought about putting it that way. So if you guys remember that Facebook came out and they announced that they're changing their name to Meta, and it's going to be a metaverse, basically like a virtual reality platform. And Elon Musk said, when I was a kid, I was told not to sit too close to the television because it would damage my eyes. Why would I put a TV on my nose? Talking about virtual reality. And I thought that was pretty clever. I liked that. But I don't think the metaverse is a good idea. I don't think it's something that's going to catch on right away. And I don't think it's healthy when you want to live in a virtual reality, when you can go outside and speak to people right in front of you. I think human interaction and being around real humans and having experiences is a positive thing. And I think we saw that with our lockdowns and with everything that happened the past few years. I think we've learned more than ever that to be right. Why would you put a TV on your nose? Yes, that is a good point. He had several good points. And when someone has a good point, I like to reiterate that. And he Meta feminists have their own social network called Me Too, or the Me Too verse. Except they don't practice what they preach, is what I've understood about fourth wave feminists. Not at all. They do not practice what they preach at all. And I think a lot of the Me Too and a lot of the Time's Up it was performative. I don't think it was genuine at all. Speaking of Me Too and Elon Musk, they also brought up CNN. If you have followed Project Veritas, they actually exposed another individual within CNN. This was someone who worked with Jake Tapper. I think he was a producer on Jake Tapper's team. They exposed another producer with CNN that was saying some very concerning things about very young people. And this person, I believe, is now being investigated by authorities, which is good. But this is yet another pervert at CNN who has been exposed. And they talked about this in the interview with Elon Musk. And I can't remember what the question was, but Musk basically said, I'm not perverted enough to be able to go on CNN. I don't think they would have me. I don't meet the standard of perversion, which is true. And again, didn't we just said that? A lot of the virtue signaling. It was a guy, I don't have his name right now, but he was a producer. Hold on, I can find it for you. CNN producer Jake Tapper. His name did get exposed. Where is this guy? Okay, yeah. He's a producer of the Jake Tapper show. Sorry, I didn't prepare for that one. I didn't know I was going to go into this. When it comes up, I'll let you know. Yeah, but he's a producer with Jake Tapper. A lot of people have been making fun of CNN lately. Everyone does, and I actually follow a few sort of leftist channels. They're not necessarily political, but they're clearly leftist, and they make fun of CNN all the time. Everybody knows that CNN sucks. CNN producer outed by Project Veritas and pedo scandal. Rick Salibi is his name. Rick Salibi. He was engaged to a woman, and the woman that he was engaged to had a 14-year-old little girl, and he had been texting a friend of hers about his feelings toward the 14-year-old that were very explicit. So I'm going to be careful about what I say here, but you know what I'm saying. Like, really bad stuff. She even had him on a voicemail saying things, and he even solicited her and her young daughter, and she came out to Project Veritas. And when this story originally broke, they didn't name the person. They didn't name Rick. That's his name, Rick Salibi. They didn't name him at first to protect the woman and her child. But they have since been in contact with them, so they know that they're safe and they're okay. So after they made sure that the mom and the little girl were okay, they outed the man with his name. And this is actually, I'll read you what the mom said. The mom of the little girl, his fiance, which I'm guessing is his ex-fiance now. She said this, which I thought was pretty cool. She said to Project Veritas, she said, I wanted to reach out to sincerely thank you again. I am very grateful toward you guys and everything you've done for me and my children. Our world has just been completely flipped upside down, but none of that matters. We are all safe. I'm hoping, praying, and pushing for charges to be brought against him so he can never do this to another child/family again. So there's that. CNN. Lubin Tubin. And they rehired Tubin. I mean, come on. It's not looking good. And this just reiterates my point that the people that virtue signal and condemn the most and are for all of this woke nonsense, they are usually the ones with the most skeletons in the closet at the end of the day. I don't know why, but I think it has something to do with the fact that they are angry people, and this is an excuse for them to be angry under the guise of virtue. I also think it's because a lot of them work for not so good people, and they have connections with other not so good people, and they all have to protect each other. They rehire. Yeah, they rehired. Steve said they rehired Jerk. Yes, they did rehire him. Lubin Tubin. All right, let's talk about this this interview with Candace Owens. And okay, did anyone see the interview on the Daily Wire with Candace Owens and Donald Trump? I just want to know right now if anyone saw it. Do you think Trump was wishy-washy? There's another creep Tubin. Yes. Candace. Okay, didn't you watch some? You didn't watch any of it? Okay. So I watched a lot of it. I really, really hope Jurgen sponsors segment. I didn't. Kelly, you did watch it. Kelly, do you think he was wishy-washy? He was asked, and I'm specifically talking about, he was asked about, you don't think he was wishy-washy. Okay. I've heard mixed opinions. I felt like he was a little bit about the okay. So a few of the hard hitting questions were about the vaccines, about the mandates, and then there was the Julian Assange, Edward Snowden. There was that question. So those are the things that people were sort of talking about, and those were sort of the hard hitting questions that he got. And I actually appreciated his stance. I think the Edward Trump is always sharp. I think the Edward Snowden, the Julian Assange, I think that was the one for, in my opinion, that if he was wishy washy, that's what he was mostly wishy washy on. A little bit. I was wanting, I guess, more of a definitive answer. He said good people on both sides, but so I don't know about that one. Is it buffering for you? But what I wanted to say, I wanted to make a point about this because I've even been personally attacked about this. So this interview with Candace and Trump, it was trending on social media for a long time, even or for a while after they had this interview, even by leftists, and this is why. Because people view Candace Owens as they view her as anti-vax because she has said, I did not get the vaccine, and she says I never will, and that's my stance. And as we know, Donald Trump, under his administration, and he helped this with Operation Warp Speed, so we know that he is very pro. I hate calling it the jab, but I have to be careful because of YouTube. But he's very pro jab because, he headed Operation Warp Speed. Exactly. Thank you. So they were saying Trump owned you because he owned you on being anti-vax. No. You can say I'm pro-vax, and you can say I choose not to get it, but if other people want to get it, that's fine. And someone just said it's an experimental shot, and I think that's fair. But I think the fact that Trump's ego is huge, but he loves the U.S., and I support pretty much all of his decisions. Yes, he very much, 63, never got jabbed. He very much loves the U.S., and I don't know if any of you have seen, there's this great documentary series, I think it was on the History Channel, called The Men That Built America, and Trump was on that series, and it was before he was president, and they weren't talking about him on that series. He was talking about other people on that series. So he really understands the history of the U.S. He loves the U.S. You can criticize his decisions here and there, but I really do believe at his heart he loves the U.S. But Candace was asking him about the mandates. And people were saying because Candace didn't get the vaccine that he owned her on the mandates. But the point I want to make is, and this is where a lot of people get conflated in their arguments. They're saying if you are pro-vaccine, you can't be anti-mandate. And I do not think that's true. And Trump made that point too. She asked him, she's like, so you're the one that came out with Operation Warp Speed. Are you for the mandates? And he said, no, basically, I'm for freedom of choice. I'm glad that it's available, and it was one of my greatest accomplishments, but people should have the choice to get it or not, and they should have their freedom. And he also made the point that, it doesn't stop the spread, but it significantly helps your symptoms, and it helps with hospitalizations and deaths, this is something we pretty much know. So you'll still spread it, but you're less likely to be hospitalized and stuff like that. And if you're younger, you're even less likely without it to be hospitalized anyway. So he said basically, yeah, I'm pro-vax, I'm against mandates, which is a stance a lot of people tell you that you're not allowed to have. They say you have to be one or the other. And Candace went on to say, so this is what one media outlet said about Candace. So I'm going to tell you what they said, and then I'll give you her response, and I'll talk a little bit more after this. What outlet? So it said, during an interview with Candace Owens this week, Donald Trump actually pushed back on anti-vax talking points and encouraged viewers to get their shots. Yes, you read that correctly. That was a tweet from the Daily Beast, who does not like Candace Owens, and that was their and the actual headline was Trump rebukes Candace Owens anti-vax talking points. The vax works. And Candace tweeted back and she said, "What? LOL, this is such a dishonest headline. Trump did not push back about anything I said. We agreed that mandates and masking children were wrong. He simply expressed that he believes the vax works and that people should get them." She also went on to say that I have no issue with any person who wants to get it. I just will never let that into my body. I believe firmly that Big Pharma is the greatest evil on the face of the planet. I am healthy, young, in shape, simply unafraid of the virus, which I think is fair. I totally agree with her point. And one of the reasons that she is hesitant, I don't know if you know this about Candace, but she did a live earlier tonight and I watched a little bit of it. She actually had an extremely adverse reaction to a completely different vaccine in the past. So you could totally understand why someone like vaccine, to the point where she was having seizures. So you could totally understand why someone in her case, and she has other health complications. She has asthma. I believe she has asthma. Yes, she does, because she had an asthma attack during the pandemic. But you could totally understand why someone in her position, okay, I'm otherwise young and healthy, but I have had these reactions before. I don't want to take something that's brand new. I totally understand that. I also understand people that choose to get it. And I was one of those people that chose to get it. And the reason I did is because I take care of people, which is one of the reasons I'm in Virginia. Somebody very, very close to me that I see on a daily basis has a 36% lung capacity. So I'm around this person all the time, and a few other individuals who are very much at risk. So I just thought to myself, if I had extra symptoms, if I spread something to them, I would not want to do that. So I chose to get it, which I think is great. You can choose to get it or you can choose not to get it. And you can have it and still be anti-mandate. Exactly. I don't understand why children are. But again, and that was the point that Trump was making. That was also the point that Candace was making. Okay, great that it's available. I did get the J&J. Great that it's available, but if you choose to get it, awesome. If you choose not to, that's awesome too. But we shouldn't be mandating everyone. And it seems like a lot of people are pushing back. A lot of courts are pushing back against it. It's rather unconstitutional, especially because it's brand new. So you don't know the long-term effects of it. And this is exactly what Candace asked Trump. She said, "Where do you stand on these mandates? Obviously, I know that you're very pro-vaccine. You did everything you could to get this out. Where do you stand on the vaccine?" And he said, "It was one of my greatest achievements. We did it in 9 months." 100% agreed. But now it's taken a twist, right? We went from this is a good thing, people should have this option, to military men and women, you're going to have to resign because you're not getting it. And Trump said, "Well, I stand on, forget about the mandates. People have to have their freedom." And he said they work. But both said, okay, great that it's an option. It shouldn't be forced on people. Anyway, the left was trying to frame it as Candace is, you see how they take things and frame them. Candace is anti-vax and Trump slammed her. That's actually not what happened at all. And then people on the right are saying that Trump is very weak. So I just thought that was really interesting. But someone said Trump and Candace had a good conversation, but I think the interview could have been better. In my opinion, Candace talked too much during the process. I didn't watch all of it. I just watched a few clips. Interesting. So there's that. I I got personally attacked online. Someone said I was weak for taking it, and they were like, "You have to take a stance. Either you're for everything or you're for nothing." I'm like, "No, life is more complicated and it's a lot more nuanced than that." And, I can be happy that there's a choice to have it, but I can still be anti forcing people to get it, and saying you're not allowed to come in a restaurant. You have to show your medical information. In New Mexico, there is a spike in deaths for vaccinated people, 20 in 1 month. Oh, wow. I will have to look at that one. Okay, you'll enjoy this next thing. Exactly, Sarah. Everyone choose for yourself. Yeah. You're an adult. You know the pros and cons, you know the risk, and you decide for yourself. Yeah, and someone said exactly how you can only be pro 2A if you're conservative. Yeah, or like if you're conservative, you have to be the same on all of these points. Life is more nuanced, life is more complicated, and some of these people online are starting to sound incredibly authoritarian. Wonder why blundering CNN doesn't report on that, because it would go against their narrative. Yes. And I will say, I thought it was pretty incredible where I got mine. And again, I'm saying, if I wasn't taking care of people that were just incredibly vulnerable, I wouldn't have gotten it. I would have waited a while because I'm young and I'm healthy, and if I had it, I would be fine. I just don't like the feeling of maybe I would spread something to somebody. Um, but if I wasn't, I wouldn't have gotten it. But I will say I was very impressed with the rollout. I got it in California, and I got it in, it was this huge parking lot, and I got it by the military. It was like very organized and very just, it was rather impressive, I will say. Okay, this is hilarious. You're gonna laugh at this. Yep, and you have seen the news Sweden is doing with. Oh, I haven't. No. Do you have any symptoms after the? Okay, so that's actually a really good question. Someone asked if I had symptoms after the shot. Not at I got the booster again just because I'm around people that are really really vulnerable. Someone said conservatives should spend much more time on Rumble. I actually, all my videos automatically go to Odyssey. So whenever I upload here, they go right to Odyssey. I really like Odyssey because they pay you in cryptocurrency, which I just think is kind of cool. Um, what was I saying? Oh, the symptoms. I didn't have any on the first shot. Well, it was really weird. I don't know if I had symptoms or if it was because I was on a plane. I Right after I got it, a few hours later, I got on a plane and flew to Virginia. So I was really tired, but that could have been because I was traveling. It was an overnight flight. The booster put me on my behind. It made me, I had every single side effect you could have possibly had. It was not fun. For about 10 hours. I got it around 3 p.m. and then around 6 p.m. All of a sudden, I was actually going to go live that night, and I had planned on it, and it was about 2 hours before the live, and I was preparing and getting everything together. And then I was like, holy cow, I need to lay down. I had tingles all in my skin. It felt really weird. I was tired with my J&J shot and booster. I was tired. I had muscle aches. And then I had that weird, like, tingling in my skin. It was not fun at all. But it's odd because my mom and my stepdad got it also. I actually went with them to get it. We went together, and they were totally fine. I was the one that had all of the symptoms. It was very odd. But after that, I was fine. How do you like your feral government? If you don't know Dr. Carrie Madaj, you will not get through this. I will have to look that person up. Um, like the flu. Yeah, I think Kelly. I think you're referring to. Yeah, it did feel like that. I've actually, and you know what? I've never even had the regular flu. I've never had the flu ever in my life, and I never get the flu shot either. But I got this one just because of all my family a lot. We just had a lot of we just had a lot of health issues the past few years in my family, but I had another family member who had cancer, lung cancer, and just finished chemotherapy right in the middle of the pandemic. Death rate has been the same for 20 years. And I actually saw a really interesting statistic that the one time I got the flu vaccine, I was sick as a dog. Well, I used to work, I've told you guys this before. I used to work in psychiatric hospitals. And because I worked in the hospital, I had to get every vaccine. And do you remember the bird flu? The H1N1, I think is what it was. The bird flu, I had to get, so not only did we had to get like every vaccine known to man all the time. I feel like I got so many shots when I when I worked there. I had to You also had to get that bubble. What was it? It wasn't tetanus. If someone knows the bubble, they jab you with something and your skin bubbles. What is that? I cannot remember. But also, I worked at a hospital, the bird flu, H1N1. I had to get fitted for a bird flu mask just in case. TB, yeah, the TB test. So I had to get that a lot too, and that is no fun. I had to get fitted for a bird flu mask, and my head is so small. They had to special order mine. But they were these crazy masks that you had to wear just in case we got anyone that was infected with bird flu, and it went from like here to here. That was weird. I have to go. I have family here. Good night, Sarah and everybody. Good night, Kelly. Thank you so much for joining, and Merry Christmas. I'm glad to see you. um, there was a crazy statistic, and more people died. Yes, good night, Kelly. Thank you for coming. More people passed away of fentanyl overdoses than they did of the virus last year, and I believe that. So that's a huge thing. Clinton and Nixon, the two men that made China what it is today. We need to roll back. Even Hollywood. My wife has the same voice as you. Oh, your wife is my people. It was funny living in Hollywood every time. It's kind of sad because now all my voiceover auditions I do from home, but I miss going into the audition room, and you think you're very unique, but you go into the audition room and everyone has the same unique voice. It's quite funny. Um, Jimmy Carter too. Well, I was recently watching this. There's a Hollywood critic that I follow online, and I need to finish it. It's a 2 hour video though, but I really would like to finish it. And he even talks about how, one of the reasons why some of our big Hollywood blockbusters suck so bad, not just because they're all like going woke and virtue signaling and lecturing people in the films, but they have to also cater to China, because China has 1 billion people living there, and we have what, 340 million? So they have way more people in China. And a lot of them are trying to hit that market in China, and which is kind of sad, because if you're trying to market your films to a completely different culture, which I guess is fine in a sense, but also it doesn't give the US its own identity. And a lot of these films are starting to be just super corporatized, and just watered down. And some of that is because they're trying to cater to the Chinese market. The same with NBA players, like all the like LeBron James and stuff like that. Like, they'll call out stuff that goes on in America, but they won't call out any of the stuff that goes on in China. And they have deals with corporations like Nike and stuff like that make a lot of their materials, or make a lot of their products in China, which is sad, because I love all cultures, but I love all cultures. That's why I think there should be different and unique cultures, is because I love all cultures. I love learning about different cultures. But when you're trying to market yourself on a global level, that doesn't give you an individual identity, I guess. But this is really funny, so I'm going to switch gears for just a second. So, Black Lives Matter. Hold on, let me see if I can pull this up. I wasn't even going to talk about this because I thought the last thing was going to go longer. But Black Lives Matter in Los Angeles is planning a smash and grab protest, where they're not actually going to smash and grab, but they're calling it smash and grab. They're going to smash capitalism and grab justice. And they're going to be doing that in Beverly Hills. I think it's planned for tonight. Hold on, where is it? So that's what they're doing. Christmas eggnog is triple threat tonight. Ooh, I love eggnog. I should have gotten eggnog to drink. Maybe we'll have some tomorrow. Oh, I can't find the flyer. Yes, but there, Black Lives Matter, Los Angeles. There's a flyer going around for a smash and grab protest. Smash capitalism, grab justice. So they're calling for a peaceful protest in Beverly Hills. When is it? Is it tonight? Oh, I'll have to watch for this. Beverly Hills. Whoever is on their marketing team needs to be fired, quite frankly. So, with alcohol? What? Yes, with alcohol. I mean, I like it without alcohol too, but... Well, it's a blue safe haven, so it's an easy take for them. Yeah. And Beverly Hills has definitely been a target. Smash. Here we go. Dems support BLM and Antifa. It's just... This just shows you who they are, because Beverly Hills, say what you want about Beverly Hills. I know a lot of people that live there are, it's Chrissy Teigen and John Legend, and I get it. Say what you want about it, but it's just this just shows you eggnog is an abomination. It needs to be said. No, it's delicious. Okay, I'm on the Black Lives Matter Los Angeles Twitter page. Oh, it is tonight, you guys. It's tonight. They're getting started now. Okay, so tonight, Thursday, 12/23 at 4 p.m., Beverly Gardens Park in Beverly Hills. It's a different kind of smash and grab. Smash white capitalism, grab justice. Meet us in Beverly Hills for a sign-making, justice, caroling dancing, and beloved community. Okay, so so um they're they're justice caroling. I need video of this like right now. So it's happening right now. What time is it? It's 9:20 here. Okay, so it's 6:20 in LA. But that just shows you who they are, because they're basically mocking the smash and grabs that have been happening in Beverly Hills. Do you think people in Beverly Hills? But what's funny too are because a lot of celebrities live in Beverly Hills, and these are the very leftist celebrities that supported Black Lives Matter and that supported uh, George Gascon, the progressive DA, and supported all of these causes. Sorry, what's going on? Okay, so if you don't know what's going on, Black Lives Matter is having a smash and grab justice rally in Beverly Hills tonight. But it's a safe smash and grab. They're not going out and stealing things, but it's a rally. They're doing sign making, justice caroling, dancing. Yes, they're doing sign making, justice caroling, and dancing. And they're smashing capitalism and grabbing justice. This is almost better than in West Hollywood. I actually got the local Fox News station to tweet this out. So in the middle of our lockdowns, um, they had a BLM disco party in West Hollywood with a DJ. That's what's going on. 1,000 push-ups. They should be doing 1,000 push-ups. That would be better for them than justice caroling. What is justice caroling? Confession, I like disco. I like disco too, but I don't know about this disco. What do you guys think of the InfoWars set? Wait, did they change their set? I don't know. Sorry, I finished what I'm talking about, so I'm just hanging out with you guys now. Cinnamon eggnog is all right with me. Thank you. That is how you do eggnog. You put a little, do you put vodka? What do you put in your eggnog? What alcohol do you put in your eggnog? But I like eggnog with cinnamon. I like eggnog once every year or two. I don't think I had any last year. What did you think of the Fauci Waters feud? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not up to date on this story. Fauci Waters. Okay, let's read this. Hold on. Waters Fauci feud. I'm not up to date on this. Fauci says Fox's Waters should be fired for comments on him. Justice caroling means you don't sing. Oh, I didn't get to read that. Justice caroling means you don't sing. No, it means you don't. I don't know if you know this, but there was a resident. I just read about this the other day. There was a resident in Beverly Hills who had a Molotov cocktail thrown in their backyard during the summer of 2020. I don't think they want justice caroling. But is that justice caroling? Do you just throw Molotov cocktails in people's yards? Okay, I'm reading about this feud. Okay. Fox News defended Jesse Waters on Tuesday after he used the phrase Killshot in a speech urging young conservatives to confront Dr. Fauci in public with a hostile interview. Fauci asked about it on CNN and that Waters should be fired on the spot, but predicted he wouldn't be held accountable for his language. Fox and Waters' words have been twisted completely out of okay, so Fox is saying Waters' words have been twisted completely out of context. Waters, a host on Fox News Channel, made his initial mark doing aggressive interviews for Bill O'Reilly, spoke Monday to a group of college and high school conservatives. His audience booed at the mention of Fauci's name. Okay, so this must have been was this at AMP Fest? Was he speaking at AMP Fest? Fauci, director of the blah blah blah, the Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, and the government's most visible spokesman on the virus, has been the subject of frequent criticism by some Fox News commentators. Okay, but what did he say? Waters said that Fauci should be confronted on the subject of whether the National Institute of Health funded research at lab in Wuhan. We already know that. Now you go in for the kill shot with an ambush. Deadly, because he doesn't see it coming. He suggested an interviewer say, "You know why people don't trust you, don't you?" This is weird. What was he talking about? Oh, okay. It looks like Waters was saying, now you go in for the kill shot, get him dead. I think he was saying the interviewer should make sure the encounter is filmed and the footage given to conservative media, Waters said. It's a confrontation technique that has been used elsewhere in conservative politics by the group Project Veritas. So what he meant by the kill shot, I think, yeah, it was figurative. I think that's exactly what he meant. But of course, they're going to take those words and they're going to use them as literal to make Jesse Waters look bad. I also know Jesse Waters pretty well, not personally, but I've watched him for years. So I'm that's not in his character to condone any sort of violence. He was definitely being figurative in that situation. Why don't people trust you? Okay, so he was saying, he suggested an interviewer say, you know why people don't trust you, don't you? Oh, he is dead. He's dead. He's done. He means he's done, as in he's not going to know what to say because no one asks him direct questions. And he said, just make sure it's legal. So he was being figurative. There's so much proof of Fauci's guilt. Letters, emails, money. Exactly. And every news outlet that interviews him. You know what's interesting? Somebody made a really good point about Fauci. And the point is, he only goes on left-leaning news outlets. And if what the media is telling us is true, right? If the ones that are not getting the jab are conservatives, then if the ones that don't believe that whatever is happening is real are conservatives, shouldn't he be on conservative media more? Shouldn't he want to go on conservative media to get his message across to that population that apparently is not taking it seriously? Yet he never does. He never goes on a show, or he never sits with someone that will ask him tough questions. But if you believe in what you're saying, then you want to go on the opposite news outlet to get your message across to a broader audience. And what we've been told this whole time is it's the conservatives or it's the Republicans, it's Fox News that's not taking this seriously. So shouldn't he want to go on Fox News more? Because he's already got that audience. If everything he's saying is so true and so dire, then he should want to go on the opposite outlet and get that audience. That's another thing that's so weird. And what that person just said was correct. There are all these things out there. Not saying that the virus isn't real, But why are we all trusting this one person? So Fauci noted that for 2 years he's been encouraging people to protect themselves against the virus. Okay, we know that. And then he said, for that, you have some guy out there saying some people should be giving me an unalive shot to ambush me. I mean, what kind of craziness is there in society these days? That's awful what he said. And he's going to go very likely unaccountable. Whatever network he's on is not doing anything. The guy should be fired on the shot. In a statement, Fox said, based on watching the full clip and reading the entire transcript, it's more than clear that Jesse Waters was using a metaphor for asking hard hitting questions. And his words have been twisted completely out of context. Awesome. That seems to be, I read that, I just learned about this story. I was reading that out loud for the first time to you all, and it was very clear that he was using those words as a metaphor. Yes, for exactly what they said, for asking hard hitting questions. This again is a distraction. It's a distraction away from himself, is exactly what that is. Waters was saying to show documents to ambush Fauci. Yeah. And you can do that. Hold on. I'm looking at the if Fauci looks like Sarah, I'd take all 3 vaccines. Man, so I just my ADD started kicking in, so I went right back to the Twitter account for Black Lives Matter LA. And I'm looking at the smash and grab flyer, smash capitalism, grab justice, for justice caroling in Beverly Hills. And they got heavily criticized on their Twitter. One person said, Dear BLM, nobody gives a flying F about you. You are bad people that accuse everyone of being the R word. Nobody is buying your stuff anymore. You guys are cowards and we are not afraid of you. Sincerely, everyone in America. So, Fauci must be high. Must be high on something. Well, the reason he said that is because that is, if he condemns Waters of being a really bad person, that will distract away from what Waters was criticizing him on. So put everything on Waters, distract away from yourself. I don't know if you saw this. I'll get off in just a minute, but this was really interesting. So Biden was asked in an interview recently if he's going to run for re-election, and he said he will if he's in good health. And then he was pushed a little bit. He said, if I'm in the health I'm in now, I'm in good health, then in fact I would run again. I'm a great respecter of fate. Fate has intervened in my life many, many times. And then he was pushed a little bit again. So he was asked, "Oh," or the interviewer said, "Oh, so this could be a another Trump versus Biden election," and he goes, "Don't tempt me." So basically, he's admitting that he's probably not going to be running again. Because if you're going to say "Don't tempt me," Biden also said a rematch against his 2020 rival would make him more likely to run. "You're trying to tempt me now. Sure. Why would I not run against Donald Trump if he were the nominee?" Which basically means he's not planning on running. I don't think he is at all. I think he knows he's a one-term president. He's clearly acting like he's a one-term president, so I do not think that's going to happen. I think that was a little slip on his part. When you're saying "Don't tempt me," that means you've already made it up in your mind that that is not what you're going to do. When Biden farts, it's called gaslighting too. I actually got, where is it? I got the funniest gag gift. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I'm finished, by the way. I'm just talking. So if I talk about nonsense for a few minutes, that's why I finished with all the topics I wanted to talk about. So those that don't want to hear nonsense, you can log off if you want to. Thank you. But I got the funniest gift. They say there's a false flag around the corner too. Wait, where is it? Siri, shut up. I got this really funny, since you just mentioned farts, I got this really funny gift. It's a gag gift. Where is it? I have, this area is like covered with presents that I'm getting ready to wrap. Where is it? Hold on. It's, okay, so this is a gift that I bought. It's a gag gift because my family does gag gifts every year, on top of normal gifts. Go on a Christmas tangent, Sarah. I'm going to go on a tangent about, okay, this is my gag gift. It's farts, a spotter's guide. Hold on. Tighten up, microphone. And it has, so this is what the back says of the book. This is what the back says. It says, "Pull my finger." From the... What is a fart spotter? This is a fart spotter. It says, and so it has, what it basically goes through all the different types of farts, and then it has sound effects. So, greetings from Bulgaria. You just logged in at a very interesting time. By the way, if you just logged in, we're just chatting. We finished with the seriousness. Now we're talking about my gag gift that I've gotten people for Christmas. Okay, so can I read you the back? The back says, "Pull my finger." From the gentle hiss of the silent but deadly to the rip-roaring salute of the seismic blast, this hilarious illustrated mock spotter's guide identifies the field marks, voice, habitat, and range of the 10 common windbreakers so that you can identify he or she who dealt it every time. Can pinpoint what the flight of the buttock bees sounds like? Just push the button on the attached battery-powered fart machine, which accurately reproduces each emanation, and let her rip. I am 46. Farts are still hilarious. Yeah, they are. Okay, okay, so I'm going to pick out one and I'm going to read it to you. Is that cool? And then we'll listen to the sound together. Who's the gift for? So what we do is we all get each other normal gifts, and then we have several gag gifts, and we do like a, what is it, like a white Santa, or you put it in and you pull out a random one. Okay, let me pick out one. I'm going to pick out, oh, this is my favorite one. So my favorite one, it's number 9, and it's called the Long Goodbye. Wait, hold on. It's called The Long Goodbye. And this is it. That's what it looks like. And the proper name is Alburstis infinitum. So field marks, species usually detected before host is observed. Host's obvious physical unease is a telltale sign of species' impending presence, as well as post-release deflation of pelvic area. Voice. Among the most musical of species, this emission can sing for what seems like hours, especially to the relieved supplier. Habitat. Changes, often fleeing a public environment to a very private refuge. Range. Waiting rooms to wading pools. Mexican to Indian restaurants. Description. This is long. Description. Elusive and secretive, individuals of this usual species appears most often in public places after having been confined in lengthy social situations, disturbed by the extended length and strength. Characteristic of this emission, the provider typically wrestles with this gas for up to an hour until finally the scent must fly the coop. Keen observers can anticipate the long goodbye from key signs, including the repeated crossing and uncrossing of legs, an inability to sit still, and a painful grimace that, post-event, tends to transform into satisfied smile, if not a nap. And I'm going to play it for you. Are you ready to hear it? Fart and... Yes, I'm indoctrinating all of you. Okay, you ready? Oh my gosh. I love But I'll read you the names. The names are really funny. So you have the seismic blast, the silent but deadly, blowing smoke, the one that got away, the flight of the buttock bees, the poof, in between states, the sleeping dog, the long goodbye, which is what we just did, and the aftershock. Let's just listen to the aftershock really fast. This is the aftershock. The long goodbye was way better, but this is my gag gift. Okay. Damn, eating too much collard greens will do that to you. Okay. Sarah, did you see the White House staff upset they haven't had a tour of the White House yet? No, I haven't, but that's rather funny. They have to hide everything before the reason they haven't had the tour yet is because they have to hide the real president, and that takes time. This is a serious channel with high-minded topics. Very serious. This is only a serious channel for serious people, so if you're not serious, then... This is one of the best purchases I ever made, by the way. This was $17, and it was worth every penny. I also got... Okay, I'll show you one more thing before we go, and then I have to go. So I got another silly gift. It's not as silly, but I just thought it was really cute. So I have an aunt who always loses her glasses, so I got her this. How cute is this? It's a pot for your plant. You can put a plant in it, and then it holds your glasses. And it's a whiteboard material, so you can draw stuff on it. And it's called a face plant. I thought that was pretty cool. I did get her other stuff, too. I didn't just get that. I got her other cool stuff. Another funny book I heard about is, yeah, it's like it almost is a chia pet, but you can put any plant in it. You don't actually grow the plant. But I just thought that was so funny. And there's different, look, you can put any plant in it. I thought that was so cute. All right. All right, I'm going to go. Thank you all for joining and watching. I just wanted to say hi before the holidays or before Christmas. I'll be back right after Christmas. Laughter is mind-altering and uplifting to everyone around you usually. I agree. I always like to get funny stuff. Yeah, especially the Scottish Granny. Wonky Donkey. Okay, I'm going to have to watch that. Wonky Donkey. All right, thank you all for watching. That was really fun. I will see you later. Merry Christmas. I hope everyone has a lovely Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And I'll probably see you on... See, Candace is trending. Everyone's talking about that. Thanks, Sarah. Merry Christmas. Thank you, guys. That was really fun. I hope I... We'll see how many unsubscribers I got from the fart book. Oh, thank you so much. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Thank you, Zepco. That was very sweet. Merry Christmas. And I like your little picture there. All right. Thank you very much, you all. Everyone have a great Christmas. And I'll see you right after. I might have some videos pop up before. But I'll see you later. It was fun. Oh, when are you coming back? Well, I'll probably have some short videos pop up within the next few days. But I'll be back Sunday. Not too long. Okay, thank you all. Have fun. Merry Christmas. Santa incoming. I like that. Okay, bye.